Cambodian opposition leader Sam Rainsy is calling for new rallies to bring about electoral reform, and he's hoping to attract 2 million people. Since July last year, Mr Rainsy and his opposition National Rescue Party have been protesting against the results of the election, which returned long-term Prime Minister Hun Sen and his Cambodian People Party to power.
The opposition and its supporters want a new poll, but their push for that to happen before the end of this year appears to have failed. I spoke with Mr Rainsy earlier from Canberra. Sam Rainsy, thanks for joining The World.
Thank you.
You've reminded the international community that you don't recognise last year's election result and that you've refused to join the Parliament. Is that why you're in Australia this time?
This is one of the reasons, but I am in Australia to thank Australia and members of Parliament of this country and the government of Australia for their support for democracy in Cambodia. And we need your continuous support in order to bring the democratic process back on track.
Well, originally you were calling on Prime Minister Hun Sen to hold a new election by the end of this year. That's not going to happen, is it?
We still push for a new election. The sooner, the better. And we also called for a reform of the Electoral Commission, which is under the control of the ruling party. Without such a reform, the next election will be rigged again.
Yes, well, the next election's not set down till 2018. If the government refuses to bend, that's a long haul for you to be campaigning like this, isn't it?
No, there is room for negotiation because Cambodia has no legitimate government. The National Assembly is made up of members from only one party, and this is against our constitution, which states that the country must follow a liberal and plural democracy. This is not plural. This is a one-party system, reminiscent of the communist system. And I would like to remind you that Australia was a prominent signatory with Gareth Evans, the Australian foreign minister at that time, to whom we are very grateful because he was one of the founding fathers of the Paris Peace Agreement on Cambodia.
Yes, and in fact Gareth Evans has had some strong comments to make about the situation recently. We talked about electoral reform. Is your joint committee with the government of Hun Sen moving forward in any way?
Unfortunately, it is at a standstill because Mr. Hun Sen's party just want to buy time and to cling on to power at any cost by any means.
But is this to some extent a personality battle between yourself and Hun Sen?
No, it is just a matter of principle. The Cambodian people want freedom. They want real democracy. They want full freedoms, not violation of human rights as is the case now. Cambodia now is just like a communist system. Actually, we are back to square one. We want Cambodia on the democratic path.
Do you think, though, that you have enough of a personal following to take Cambodia down that path? People have talked about the fact that you've spent much time in France, that you're elitist, that you're not one of the Cambodian people. Will they follow you down that path, particularly with a strong man like Hun Sen standing in the way?
We represent at least half of the electorate. And in last December, we organized unprecedented demonstrations with hundreds of thousands of people joining. This is a massive show of support, meaning that the Cambodian people want a democratic change.
I wonder if you've lost the momentum for that, though. I've been to a number of your rallies in the capital, Phnom Penh, and you did have substantial crowds, but we're now months down the track. Do you think you can really rally that many people?
It is just a temporary stop. Mr. Hun Sen want to crack down the popular protest, and he started with by killing the workers, by cracking down on the labor movement. He hoped to crack down on the whole democratic movement, but he is misled. He would not be able to crack down on the Cambodian people.
Mr. Rainsy, if I could address another issue with you. Recently, the Australian government asked the Cambodian government apparently to take asylum seekers and refugees. Is this something that you would consider if you were the leader of the country?
I think it would not be very realistic, because we have to tackle the refugee issue at its source. I think the real problem is poverty, and behind poverty there is corruption, there is bad governance, there is a lack of democracy. If you want to decrease the flow of refugees wanting to come to Australia, I think Australia must then strengthen democracy. With democracy will come the rule of law and better governance and a reduction of poverty, and then less people would like to leave their country to seek a better life in Australia.
Sam Rainsy, thanks for your time.
Thank you.